Hello everyone, it is iMechLord and today's deck is a bit special. You might look at this pile of cards and think, MechLord, what is this thrash that you're presenting before us today? And before I can properly explain this deck, we have to take a look at the skill that enables it all, Guardian Angel's Charity. So this skill has a lot of text on it and does a lot of stuff. You can use this skill's second and third effects once per duel if your deck contains no more than 4 non-light, non-wind monsters, which is kind of a weird condition, but with these non-archetypal dual monsters decks, sometimes you have to put stuff in there in order to make stuff like Guardian Angel Joan and the Lost Dragons playable in the same deck, I guess. You cannot normal or special summon any monsters except Guardian Angel Joan and Dragon monsters. You can normal summon one Guardian Angel Joan during your main phase in addition to your normal summoner set, and this Guardian Angel can be summoned without tributing. You just get to summon this guy for free, which it's not a big deal actually. Reveal one Luster Dragon 2, Luster Dragon or Guardian Angel from your hand to add one Guardian Angel Joan or Dragon normal monster from your deck to your hand, then send one Dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. It's I was gonna say a +2 because it gets you an additional card, but also it sends a dragon in the graveyard, but the card that you're getting is a normal monster. How can that be possibly good? The real kicker is the third part of this skill. If you control Guardian Angel Joan, add one Graceful Charity, you know, one of the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh cards of all time, and one Stamping Destruction from outside of your deck to your hand, then play up to one Luster Dragon 2 and one Luster Dragon up to 2 cards total from your deck to your field in face down defense position. Of course, it can change the battle position this turn. So what this basically means is, if you control Joan, you get Graceful Charity, Stamping Destruction, which maybe is one of the 2 cards you're going to discard with the Graceful Charity, and you can put 2 monsters from the deck. And they don't even have to be 2 different monsters. You can put 2 Luster Dragon 2 or 2 Luster Dragon, which means you have access to a rank 6 or a rank 4 monster at your leisure, which paves the way for some pretty insane combos. The basic idea of this deck is you want to get to Joan as quickly as possible, then get 2 Luster Dragons 2 out of your deck, put them into a Hieratic Dragon King of Atom, and then do some coolio dragon combos from there. I'm not gonna spoil the beans just yet because there's so much more to learn about this deck. Speaking of which, I do have to credit IC Gamers of Duel Links Unlocked for being the first person that I know to actually showcase this deck. They got to COG with a different version of this list, which instead of focusing on the Dragon Maid plays, where you get Parlor Dragon Maid, which then allows you to go into Shield, focused on getting Roxrose Dragon and Basil Rush Shoot in order to go into Synchro plays, which is one of the things about this deck that I kinda like. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to complain about this deck today. One of the things about this deck that I kinda like is you can build it in a couple of different ways, which do enable you to play through different combos. This is my version of the deck, but you've probably seen some older versions of this deck online, which play differently. Like I said, we're trying to get to Joan as quickly as possible. We're playing 3 copies of her, 3 copies of Luster Dragon 2, 3 copies of Luster Dragon, 3 copies of Painful Decision in order to get the Luster Dragons added from our deck to our hand, and also thin out our deck a little bit because these aren't actually great. And then the rest is just staples, good stuff. We have the Tempest, which is going to be our send target for the skill. Remember, the skill allows you to send a dragon from your deck to the graveyard. We can revive this and then put these 2 sevens together into an Xyz monster. In case you already open the Tempest, we can get Galactic Spiral Dragon, which also enables us to go into Dingirsu. And, yeah. 3 Forbidden Droplets, 3 MSTs, 3 Books of Eclipse, 1 Econ, 2 Infinite Impermanence, because I am a dirty whale. But you don't have to be playing these specific tech cards, you can just be playing the tech cards that you do have. Some people are also playing an FTK version of the deck using Dragon's Gunfire to inflict a bunch of burn damage in 1 turn. I'm not sure how much the skill is to blame for this. I think it's mostly due to the fact that Dragon's Gunfire is one of these cards that was released before Vexel. so it does full burn damage instead of half burn damage. And I've been saying for years that Konami should adjust every burn count in the game so that it only deals half instead of full. Specifically so we can avoid situations like these, situations like we've had with Imitation, and situations which I'm sure are going to keep happening so as long as burn damage is not halved in the game. Enough yapping about the deck, it is now time to see it in action. This here replay will be against Dark Magician, a deck which recently got support because we got a new Duel Monsters World update, so of course, like anytime it's happened, Dark Magician and Duel Links are going to get support. This is not any new information for you all, I suppose. Fortunately, we are going first, so we are going to get to showcase the full combo potential of this deck. We've already opened the Tempest, which clears a couple of things up, but realistically, it's probably going to be in your deck, and this is probably going to be your send target for the skill, which means we don't get to access the Galactic Spiral thingy, which I'm going to do in this duel. So, first and foremost, we're going to activate our skill, reveal a Luster Dragon 2 to get Guardian Angel Joan, send Galactic Spiral Dragon to the graveyard, and then we just normal summon Guardian Angel Joan for free, because this is a terrible DM hero card that would not have seen play. Although, like, I don't see a problem with that, honestly. I don't think this is... Oh no, they summoned 20 and a turn attack beta! Oh, the horror, you know? Then we activate the second part of the skill, getting Graceful Charity and stamping... That's a bit much, I'll give you that. It is a bit much. Setting 2 Luster Dragons number 2 from our deck for basically free. That's insane, right? Seems like a custom Yu-Gi-Oh card. I also think it's pretty cool. I can't be mad about this deck. I don't know why. We're going to put them two together into Erratic King Dragon of Atom, which is going to detach one in order to special a Power Dragon Maid. Something that I forgot to mention in my deck showcase is that instead of Power Dragon Maid, you can be playing the... what's the Dark one, right? But because the skill only allows you to play up to 4 non-win, non-light monsters, you're gonna have to make cuts, and Power Dragon Maid basically does the same thing than the Dark One Dragon Maid does, except that this loses to DD Crow. So, if you're not afraid of DD Crow, go for Power. Otherwise, go for the other that I forgot what it was called. Laundry? No, it's not Laundry. Anyway. So, we're going to activate Dragon Maid Chamber in our graveyard to get it back in our hand with Power Dragon Maid. Now we activate Charity is good. We just drew a bunch of good cards, and then we tossed the Luster 2 and the Stamping Destruction. We're going to normal summon the Luster Dragon that we got and put it together with our Atom into a Erratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we drew Luster Dragon, because I haven't played this deck that much. I don't know how we get to make seals otherwise, like without sacrificing a part of our end boards. But I got the optimal end board, so I'm kind of happy about that. Now we get to activate a Dragon Maid Changeover, fusing together Power and Dragon Maid and the Tempest that we drew, which is kind of cool to go into Dragon Maid Shu. Realistically, sometimes you're also going to be able to fuse with the Luster Dragon 2. And then we banish 2 Luster Dragons in order to bring back the Tempest from our graveyard. Even if you don't fuse with it, it's going to be in your graveyard because of the skill. And put our 2 7s together into a Volo, one of the cards of I want to say 2022 Duel Links, right? In Odd Eyes and stuff. Kind of a cool guy, And we're just going to get to set 3. So our end board is Shiyu, which is an Omni-Negate, which is also going to bring back the Power Dragon Maid taken in your graveyard, which allows us to do a couple of cute things. It means that if we activate Shiyu and we go into House Dragon Maid, which is also in our extra deck, we then get to Erratic Seal, targeting the Power to bounce it, so that we can then trigger the House effect to pop a monster on the field, plus the Grantor Summoning. That means we get to pop 3 cards total, which is pretty cool. You don't always have to target stuff that your opponent controls with Seal, which I think is really cool. It's just a pop. It's pretty much the least impressive of those 3 cards. And then a bunch of staples that we were able to draw, partially thanks to Graceful Charity, which is insane. What would they just give us Graceful Charity? Like, I like this scale. I think it does a little bit too much, but I like this scale. Anyway, so Shiyu is going to bring back the Power Dragon Maid. Our opponent is going to activate the Master of the Dark and Chaos skill in order to get an ultimate fusion from outside of their deck, and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon set to their field, and a BLS so they can, at quick effect, fuse into Dragon Master Knight. They're going to real Dark Magician, send it to the deck, send a Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard, and add 2 cards that mention Dark Magician, one of which is going to be Magician's Rod. I'm going to allow that to resolve. They're going to get the Circle, then activate the Circle, which is going to be met with a MST, so that I can deny the search of this card, which kind of annoying. They're going to activate Secret of Dark Magic, fusing the Magician's Rod and the Dark Magician together into the Dark Magicians, plural. It is kind of cool that they've updated the voice line of these guys. At this stage, you know, I'm just going to Volo, pop the Dark Magicians in order to try and stop more draw power from happening. They're going to activate the Graveyard effect of the Dark Magicians. I'm going to banish the Dark Magician from deck with Diddy Crow because I don't think I have more good Diddy Crow targets against this very specific deck. They're going to summon the Dark Magician that has an animation on it from their deck, which is kind of cool. And also, look, here's Dark Magician Girl. And there she is. Yup. That's we're just watching all animations today. It allows me to catch my breath because there's so much to explain. It's just such a whack game. They're going to try and activate Magicalized Fusion, but I'm going to deny that with the shield. They're going to chain the Ultimate Fusion, which will unfortunately allow them to pop a first sub card on the field because they did use a monster on the field in order to fuse into Dragon Master Knight. I haven't actually seen the Dragon Master Knight animation from Yugi's side yet, so I'm just going to look at it. But it's pretty cool that there's one that focuses more on the BLS and one that focuses more on the Ultimate Dragon. This is a really cool animation. Anyway, they're going to destroy the seal, predictably enough. I am going to get back, well, get House rather. And then in the battle phase, I'm just going to Book of Eclipse everything. Because, whatever, you know, they're going to draw 3 cards, but it's not a problem. I can deal with that. Look, first things first, I am going to put the Parlor back into my hand to make some space happen, trigger the House Dragon Maid to pop the Dragon Master Knight, and then fuse House and Parlor Dragon Maid into Dragon Maid Shiyu once again, then activate the effect of Tempest in my graveyard to summon it once again. Such a fantastic card in 2011. Then a Galactic Spiral Dragon is going to turn everything into an 8 to go into the Ngirsu, which will remove the Dark Magician from field, and this should be lethal, if not for the not 1, but 2 Apprentice Illusion Magicians that my opponent has drawn. 2 of them. I guess that's the downside of Book of Eclipse. Onto their turn, they're going to activate Forbidden Droplet to get rid of my Shiyu, activate Circle, but with only 1 card left in hand, I feel confident using MST on this, and I get pop, and there's nothing I can do. So I win. Kind of a really fun duel, actually. So that's the deck. Like I said before, I do think this skill maybe does a little bit too much. You know, I can get behind summoning some PP poo poo vanillas from deck in order to make some Dragon Link stuff happen. That's basically what I wanted Armed Dragons to be able to do. This deck is able to do, so I'm not going to complain about that. The Graceful Charity might be might be a bit much, you know. It might be one of these cards that maybe should be put under more scrutiny, but then again, you know, judging off of early tournament result, this deck doesn't seem to be like broken or completely ruining the format or anything, and there is so much new stuff to enjoy that I'm sure it's not going to be hard to find something that is objectively better than this. Maybe Shadows are like still the best deck post update. I think this is a really cool deck. I think this is one of these skills that enables some creativity from the player base, which I really enjoy. I've really enjoyed seeing people get excited about this as they realize this is a skill with like great combo potential. And I think this is partly what Duel Links is about, you know, just taking the worst, most worthless cards you've ever seen. That's not true, these cards are kind of cool. And turning them into a balls-to-the-wall combo deck that does have some key weaknesses. You're pretty much screwed if you draw too many copies of Luster Dragon 2. Your combo is prone to be interrupted by Effect Veiler, the newly added Imperm. DD Crow is also kind of a problem for this deck. And going second, of course, you're going to have to contend with much stronger decks doing much more annoying things. I'm fine with the skill. Surprise, surprise. I think 2024 Mechlord would have found more reason to complain, but it's just a cool skill that enables you to do a bunch of cool stuff. All can be said. And that will be it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think of this skill and what you would like to see next. There is so much stuff that I can cover with this update. I haven't been able to build any of the new box decks yet, which is kind of frustrating. I think I can do Thunder Dragons, and that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support me further, you can check out my Ko-fi in the video description, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge, or you can become a YouTube channel member. I would not like to thank my Ko-fi donators in the form of Dingo, Savage Boy Zero, Jimmy, Zinnia, Yannick, Sile, Marku, Fortuno16, the Abyss Sector Guru, Old Price, and Exorcist. And I would like to thank my YouTube channel members Sternay, Crimson Reaper 5, Troy Bolton, Genius Wannabe, and Silolush. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all for watching once again. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.